Hello and welcome to another Matchday Live as Oxford United take on Gillingham. So, Kath, you've come along today because you're not training, so you can talk to me about the lineup. Here we go. So, not many changes from midweek. Barker obviously picked up a knock, so they're looking into that, which means Shodipo starts. He's, in terms of goal return, been incredible this season, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I think he's one where you start to see at this point of the season, we've talked a lot about having injuries. When you start to get that fit squad back and then you pick up the odd injuries, that's where it actually having players like Shodipo, who may be disappointed he's not played in the last 2 games, can now come in and say, right, this spot, I want to prove it's my shirt now. And Barker has to wait potentially when he gets back fit. So, this is the opportunity I'm sure Matty would have been hoping for, not in the way it's come about, obviously with a teammate getting injured, but getting a chance to remind everybody of what he was doing earlier in the season. Yeah, because
came here and a few people, he hasn't scored before, and a few games in, bam, and he's been on fire since then.
Yeah, it's not Tuesday night, which is obviously Shodipo night.
Yeah, that's fine. He can add this to his maybe 5:30 kickoffs is his thing. The other one is Anthony Ford. Now, in terms of the fact that he can cover half the pitch, that's a good thing. But also, it means that on the pitch, we've got Lee, Henry, Ford, Brannigan. All of those, in terms of set-piece specialists, they'd be top choice in a lot of teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Ford sometimes not suffers from, but can almost, because he can play in so many positions, it's almost... he doesn't get a chance to make one of them his own. And I think probably that centre midfield, sort of in the 8 role, is at times where I think I've seen him play his best games. I think at the Portsmouth games last season, he was exactly what we needed when he came on. And, he'd been cover for that side bit and he came in and played in the middle and was like, oh, wow, he's actually, he's got good feet. Maybe doesn't quite have the pace when he is out wide, which is why he's sort of played other places. But I think he's another one who now has a chance. Sykes's dropped out, whether that's a bit of a knock or what. Obviously, Sykes's been in great form, so I assume it is.
Mm-hmm.
We've not heard officially from the camp, but yeah. So it's really harsh for Sykes as he's coming into great form. But again, Fordy's another one who needs minutes to show what he can do. And this is his chance.
You've also got a bit of a run in now, 5 games to go in 3 weeks. So it'll go really quickly. But when you look at that starting lineup, and again, I mentioned Lee, Henry, Ford, Brannigan is becoming that, Matty Taylor. These are experienced people. And at least 3 of them have been promoted from this division. So that's got to be really, really helpful.
Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest things you can have at this stage, when that pressure starts to build, to have players who have done it before, who can say, like, just calm it down, lads. They know when to get the highs, and they know when to calm everything a little bit, and they can calm themselves and keep the nerves in check, as the nerves will undoubtedly grow as things become more and more possible. It's one of those, when things are completely out the window, it's easy to play with no fear. And then as it gets closer and people are going, it's actually possible we could do this. Things are falling for us. That's when those experienced heads just become absolutely vital and worth their weight in gold, really.
Yeah. So Goring back in, McNally in. So good to see them. In terms of that experience, in terms of a run-in, most games in this league, let's get rid of that graphic whilst we're having a chat. Most games in this league kicked off at 12:30. So as a former player, would you have looked at the results and now be in a position where you go, if we win, we're in the playoffs? Or would you try to ignore it and just focus on the game?
Personally, as a player, I rarely looked at how other teams were doing, rarely looked at the table. It's just not something I found personally productive. I think you start getting yourself into all different planes of possibility and not focusing on your game. But that's I think it's very much a personal thing. Other players will want that driving force. Probably a 50-50 split in that changing room of players who have looked at it and know what can happen if we get the 3 points, and others who are going, I don't care, don't tell me, let me focus. So I think it's very much a thing that's down to the individual. And again, that experience is something that you learn whether it's helpful to you or whether it builds. Sometimes the anxiety can be good, and then sometimes it can have a negative effect. So it's how you as a person use that anxiety, whether it's something that drives you or whether it's something that can push you into your shell, and therefore whether you want to know or not.
Yeah, fair enough. One thing that I don't think is individual to specific players, 10 goals, 10 different players. Today, if, for example, Matty Taylor has the chance to shoot, but Shadipo's open and in the middle, he's still shooting, isn't he?
All day long. Yeah. And that's Matty Taylor all over. There's no chance that... and I think that's, again, a centre forward thing. There's been a lot, there's times we've had chances and you say, somebody's open in the middle. And a part of me goes, you know what? Yes, somebody might have been better placed, but I want my centre forward shooting. I always want a centre forward who thinks, I can put this in, rather than one who's looking up to think, is somebody else better placed? I'd rather have a centre forward take on the shot. Gary
Lineker had an interesting point about this. He said, if I shoot, that could go wrong. If I pass to you, that could go wrong, and then your shot can go wrong. So two things could go wrong. I need to shoot, and I think, fair enough. And if you're Gary Lineker or Matty Taylor, have a shot. Yeah,
if you're a centre forward who goals is your game, then I want a confident centre forward who thinks I can score now.
So. Yes. Okay. Well, thanks very much. There is a reason we haven't talked about the women's team and their, of course, march on in the cup, and that is we're speaking to Liam Gilbert very shortly. In the meantime, here is an interview with Matty Taylor.
Everybody's scoring goals at the moment. It makes your job a lot easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's nice. See 10 different scorers, isn't it? Last 10 goals, so yeah, who do opposition mark?
I wouldn't mark Mark Sykes. I mean,
we let him have a shot when you let him.
Yeah, just let him.
No, I think when he gets going, I think he's got the potential to score a lot of goals. To be honest,
he gets really
good. Just his the runs he makes, runs him beyond. He times them really well, and it's sort of. It's nice for sort of the strikers knowing what you're saying, the touch you can see, and he's very vocal in where he wants the ball, and and I think once he sort of gets him running, he'll get a few, and he's just got to keep going. That's what he's going to do.
And for you, when you cross the ball and it goes in the roof of the net, that must be nice to see a fluke going like that.
Yeah. Everyone heard a few shouts.
Cross it. No,
I was obviously annoyed at the easier chance 2 minutes before, and
you just touched that one too far towards the goalkeeper.
Yeah, there was a bad touch in there, and I knew what I wanted to do, and then suddenly ended up on my left foot, and I thought I have to improvise a bit, and he just stood up nicely, and it didn't go in. But
you don't get fazed by that sort of thing. You may have done as a kid, but you don't get fazed. You know another chance going to come along, don't you?
Yeah, you just got to hit the target, and just sums it up. And then the harder one sort of part. Yeah, the ones you don't need to think about as much. It just sort of happens naturally, and I'd like to see that one go in, to be honest.
Which leaves us where? 5 games to go. Outsiders, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously 15 points to play for.
Here comes the gaffer. Hang on. In here! He's pressed the wrong button, hasn't he?
There's 15 points to play for, and just want to try and win as many as possible and see what happens. Seeing strange results every weekend, and hopefully if we can put a little run together at the right time now, we can sneak in them, which would be nice.
Excellent, and I am joined by Liam Gilbert, as promised. So we've kicked Liam Potter off because we can only have a maximum of 2 Liams. Right, you are here because you won again.
Yes, we did.
Great game. Anyone who didn't watch it, you are able to stream these games, and you'll be able to stream this next one.
Tomorrow's game is going to be live on the club's YouTube channel, so hopefully as many people can tune in as did last weekend or even more.
So you're playing against Charlton this time. A bit of a flip because this time probably underdogs in terms of the league system.
Yeah, there's no pressure on this game. especially given the situation of we're playing a team that's been playing all year round and we've been back playing for 3 weeks. Which is going to be a fantastic challenge. Girls are all really looking forward to it. So all the staff, and we're just it's just excited to see how we compare against a team from the league above.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I watched the game and both teams played very well. I think the result was just when you're 2-0 up, that that goal comes back. What happens? Do you say more of the same, or do you shift things, go more attacking, more defensive, or just tell someone to volley it from 30 yards?
Maybe put your foot through the wall in that circumstance. But we've got a philosophy and a style of play that we believed in and that's got us to where we are. So I don't believe in panicking and going against it because it got us to be 2-0 up. And Emily's goal came from a set piece, but we still create us chances. And I just always believe in ourselves and believe in what we do, especially with how well the players have brought into everything. And they take ownership of, we want to play this way, we want to do these things. And if I was to go and contradict that, then it's going to probably confuse them and put a bit of unwanted chaos amongst the group. And obviously they didn't really have a chance after that goal from what I can remember. And I think we just stuck to our guns.
Well, yeah, and it could have been 5 or 6 before then. There were a few chances that I'm guessing when you haven't played that much and it is just, you've played your 2 games with some training in between. As you say, coming up against Charlton, and then they've already drawn the next game. So whoever wins goes on to play
either Blackburn Rovers or Wolves, who meet tomorrow. So again, another exciting opportunity that if we can get through tomorrow, we play either Wolves, who we've played a few times there in the league below up north, or Blackburn, who I think they knocked us out the FA Cup a couple of years ago, but they're again a mid-table championship team, so a team that we just love an opportunity to play against either.
Yeah, I mean both names in English football that you go, wow, that's a big club.
Yeah.
I know we've got a pre-recorded interview with you coming up, so I don't want to cover any of those questions. So I'm just going to random question: favorite pizza topping?
Ooh, it could be a meat feast, so sausage,
Just
bacon,
anything with
chicken,
meat on,
get it all on there. Yeah,
bourbon or custard cream?
Custard cream.
Yeah, good man.
Custard
Good
cream.
man. There we go. Right, okay. Well, thanks very much, and hopefully you'll be on next time, and we'll be talking about your next round.
Fingers crossed. Thank you very much.
Right, okay. Let's have a look what happened when Oxford took on Gillingham in 2017. Did you ever miss one like that one at the end?
Yeah, West Ham at home at the Manor, 0-0. Ball came across from Dave Langan for a change, and I think it was closer than that. And it went over, instead of side footing it in, it went over the London Road end and went into the gardens.
I didn't even tell you I was going to ask that. That was is that always in your head, that miss?
Yeah, because Stuart, the right back, Scottish lad, can't remember his first name. He come back and said, "I hope that doesn't change the game, son," and lost 2-1.
Oh, no. All right. Well,
But
you learned.
thanks for bringing it.
You've
up.
got an anecdote. Right.
Always got an
Today's match sponsor.
WKH Development Limited, builders that are 3 different owners, Eamon Kelly and family members, based in Wantage Way, and building new homes and everything else. So WKH Developers. He's a box holder, by the way. He's been a box holder. This is his first season, but he's not been in his box yet because of COVID. But he's guaranteed, and he's ready to go for next season. So
And that is something that there are still boxes available for next season if anyone does want to.
Every box holder at the moment, I think has agreed to go ahead with next year. Obviously, different terms and stuff, but we're setting one now. The whole 10 people, they range from $9.5 grand for the season through to 15 grand, depending where you're situated in alongside of the pitch. But no, to be honest, we're taking bookings now for next season. So if you're interested,
and now's the time. You don't want to wait until if in a few weeks' time we are looking playoffs. You don't want to be asking then because it will be full. You want to put your name in the hat now.
Yeah, put your name in the hat. We've got 2 prizes. We've got prizes for League One, and we've got prizes for Championship, and then the season after that we've got prizes for Premiership.
European football.
Yeah. So basically, strike by the iron's hot, and you come back and watch these wonderful boys play well.
How do people get in contact?
It's commercial at oufc.co.uk, or it's 01865 337 503. So just get in contact, website and everything else. So just come and join us.
Excellent. Now, last time you said we'd do well from set pieces. We scored from a free kick. We scored from corner.
Yeah.
Are we going to do well from set pieces today?
And then you asked me also, will Matty Taylor score? And I said...
You said no because I prompted you to.
Yeah, but because when I say no, it means a yes, because I'm that double negative.
So is he going to score?
Is he playing?
He is, yeah.
In that case, no, he won't score.
Excellent. Lovely.
So I'm just looking at the team. It's very rude of me.
No, that's absolutely fine. So it's the same as Tuesday night, but Anthony Ford's come in and Mide Shadipo.
Who's 44?
Sykes. Thank
you.
It offers something very different. He's got a phenomenal touch as Ford and a great footballing mind. Hasn't necessarily got the pace that.
See, I said on the radio sometimes, but I think I do him a disservice because he has got pace and he glides past people, but similar to Sykes as well, because he's got that little trick. But where Fordy's got that little bit more nous, because he's a little bit more old, a bit more experience. He's in midfield players who right back. I'd play him in midfield like he is today. So, looking forward to seeing him sort of get a long run in the team if he can. But again, I feel sorry for Sykes. I thought he'd go well midweek.
He played right back earlier in the season and ended up with a slightly underhit pass back to him, which took him too far forwards, and he ended up going on an insane dribble and crossing it in and creating a goal from it. He has got that in his locker where, as you say, he can go past players, and he's got a phenomenal touch.
Yeah.
Plus, he's got the set pieces.
Yeah, a bit of everything, and he's low maintenance. He's a good lad, and he just if you tell him to do this, he does it, and if you tell him don't do that, he won't do it. But he's got a clever mind, and he's got a footballing brain, and he's keen, and he's such a lovely lad as well. So it's got an all-round footballer. I like him.
When you look at what's happened recently, Simon Eastwood signed a new contract. In terms of the club and where we're at, it means we've got 2 first-team level goalkeepers.
Yeah. That
is a statement of intent.
Yeah, it is. I mean, people are saying, "Oh, does that mean that Jack's going to go?" But generally, maybe not. But even so, Simon's a great backup. How can you call him a backup? Because he's a number 1 goalkeeper. But he's still hungry for the game. So you can't knock that. But if Jack does go, and then you get somebody in, or sometimes he might go and then might loan him back to us. But there's no talk about it. It's just me,
it's options, isn't it? If one's unavailable, the other one is good enough quality to go in and be a first team.
Yeah, of course. And as I know Simon has said that with the age that he is, and with the family and everything else, and you get offered a 3-year, bang, you sign it before he finishes the sentence, actually, and then it's a bit of security for him, which is great.
And when Simon says something, you've got to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. I had to do that. I had to whack it in there. Right. Okay. Well, thanks very much for coming along
Yeah,
and being on the show. And thanks for saying that we'll do well from free kicks and Matty Taylor won't score. So that'll bode well. Right, let's have a look at the women's team. We've obviously spoken about it already. And there's a pre-record right here.
Women's season got curtailed in the league, but still the FA Cup campaign carries on. First of all, what was it like last Sunday, the game against Billericay? Talk us through that one.
Yeah, it was brilliant. The following week we played Cardiff in the Cup after 4 months of no football, playing against a team that had a bit more of a time to prepare, 6 weeks or so. So we went into that game with no pressure. If we won, fantastic. If we don't, then should we have? Probably not. But the girls dug in deep, we got the early goal, held on to the win, and we knew then our season was going to be extended competitively. And we faced Billericay last Sunday here. Very, very good team. We knew they were in the league below. We knew we couldn't underestimate them, and I think the experience kind of shown on the day that
an early goal as well really helped a lot, didn't it?
Yeah, good like Carly Johns, coming out the RTC, like getting competitive minutes now in the first team, and she gets that goal, brilliant, sets us up for the game, and then the
you
rest
are
of the
so
goals
corporate, Haynes. Right, the RTC. Now you may be involved with this RTC. For the people who are watching this, explain how the RTC feeds and the importance of it, because it basically wasn't there when you were coming through, was it?
No, it wasn't. So the RTC, the old school days, centre of excellences, this in place from the FA that it's underlying talent from 8 to 16s that have a pathway into professional football, and that's exactly what we have here at Oxford. If you look at the team and the squad on Sunday, you've got Carly Johns who started the game. You've got Billy French and Alex Ashley who sat on the bench, who are all graduates from the RTC. So it just shows that that homegrown talent and them homegrown players coming through get their chance on the big stage, which is in the first team level. And they're going to be playing against a team from a higher division, which is only going to enhance everybody's experience, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to be brilliant. When we knew that we were playing Charlton, we were buzzing. The team in the league below, the league above, sorry. Yeah. A team that I don't think I've ever faced in my professional career or anything like that, and I know some of the girls are the same, and we know it's going to be tough. But with the players that we've got in and around the team, we want to be in that league, so we need to go make sure on the weekend that we play how we can play and actually show that we can play in a high league. If you could have fans, I know you packed this place out on Sunday. It's going to be a little bit harder without them here, isn't it? I 100% agree. I think just before the lockdown come in and we were allowed fans in, and I think it was the men's that couldn't. It just showed actually how much people do follow not only the men's team, not only the women's team, but Oxford United as a whole. And we had lots of new faces down, and we're having really good numbers. And yes, fans aren't allowed in at the weekends, but we've got some excellent, the streaming that took place last week with Billericay's game. You look at the views on that, it just shows actually how many people are interested in us and our journey. And Oxford United as a club going to win. Congratulations last Sunday, but it's all about the Sunday coming now, isn't it?
Yeah, as I say, on to the next one every time. Yeah, no, we're looking forward to this weekend. I think it's the least the girls deserve, or we deserve as a group, for how well we've done at points this season when we've been able to.
Billericay was always going to be a banana skin, as they say in the cup, because they were the league below. Now you're the underdogs. You can, you've got the advantage, surely.
No, I think, to be fair to Billericay, they had some very good players. And they were a good team, but we're very professional in how we handled them, how we dealt with things. But we're just looking forward to the opportunity to see how we figure compared to a championship team. Aspirations, it's probably no secret that's where we'd like to be. Yeah, and that's what we want to do. So where do we stand in comparison to this other team? Absolutely.
This is a work in progress. 2-3 years ago when we stood there, there were many players in the squad. Now it's work in progress, but where Charlton are is the least you want to be, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's, if you look at the history of the club, I know what's happened in the past but we pride ourselves in what we've done, and we pride ourselves in where we can be. If you look at the calibre of player that we've got, they're all pulling in the same direction, and they brought into what we want to do, how we want to do it, and it's been great.
If you could have fans in here for a game like this, I don't know, you'd be close to 1,000, I would guess. How many would you say would be here?
I'd hope it'd be the same.
It would be quite close to that, wouldn't it? It would give you such an advantage, but that's the one gutting thing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially we've got some really good fans as well that have come home and away with us this year, which is brilliant, and for them they get to watch it, hopefully. But for them to not be here to cheer us on, because they are our 12th player at times, and they really are. But I know they'll be cheering us on from home. And we received loads of lovely messages through different channels last time, before and after the game. and no doubt that they'll be watching us and cheering us on.
So there we go. Now, club historian. Now there are the under 9s and under whatever, there's the development squad, under 23s, under 21s. The women's team doing really well. The development women's side of it. Do you have to keep up to date with all of them in terms of history?
I probably should. I mean, I keep the stats, so I can do my research.
Yeah.
But I think stuff at the top of my head is not really my forte.
No. So if I strung one on you and said, what's the furthest the women's team have got in the FA Cup?
Oh, I know that one. Yeah, they have been in the 5th round.
Oh, okay.
So if they win tomorrow, they will equal that record.
Perfect. Right. Okay. Oxford United are playing against Gillingham. Before I go to the graphics that we've got, played for both. I have two right here in my notes that are playing today.
Oh.
So who has played more times for Gillingham, Alex McDonald or Jordan Graham?
Jordan Graham.
It is 41 to 32.
Right.
But also they've got Robbie Cundy playing today. So, I mean, I didn't know that's where he was now. It's just one of those things you look at the team sheet and go,
on loan from Bristol City. So.
There you go. So, yeah, it's sort of a wash. And then you've got the two Lees, obviously brothers. First time they've ever played against each other professionally. And their dad is in one of the boxes alongside. So that's quite exciting. Anyway, other played for both. We've got them here.
Who have you got?
Well, Alex McDonald is on there. Peter Foley, obviously, it played a lot of times for Gillingham. So did Colin Duncan, but John Massinio only played 4 times for them.
Did he?
Yeah. According to Wikipedia.
Right.
They always need to have that.
You always need to have that caveat. But there are obviously loads of others that play for both teams. Off the top of my head, which is, who knows where that is, it's Colin Greenall, who was our record buy when we bought him from Bury, I think it was, in 1987. And then we sold him.
Year I was born.
Oh, there you go. And there was Trevor Aylott, famous for his wave, the Aylott wave, and his headband. And he's now a London. Well, I don't know if he is still, but he went on to be a black cab driver in London.
Okay.
The knowledge and everything. So yeah.
Oh wow, that's quite no mean feat. Right, we have scored 10 goals in the last 2 games, but in the last 5 we've scored 15.
Right.
We have 3 more points than them, but they've scored more goals. Like. Very potent team. You'd get a lot of money for 0-0 today, I think.
I don't think. Obviously, you can never tell, but I'd be surprised if it ended up 0-0. I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up as a draw, though, because at home against Gillingham, our record is. There you go. But the home record is we've won 9 and they've won 8 here.
Okay.
But there've been 9 draws.
Oh, okay. So very even. Yeah, because recently you've been able to look at it and go, that doesn't tell the whole story.
No.
It sort of doesn't, because the home record's a bit more even than that.
That's right, yeah.
And not a team I necessarily remember playing a lot.
We've played them a fair few times, especially recently, over the last few years. In fact, the last time they won here was in November 2010, I think it was, or November 2011, sorry. They won 1-0. We played them 6 times here since, and I think we've won every time, or when we drew one of them. But that time they did win here, it ended a record of them not winning a game away for 15 months or something.
I remember it, it was a crazy amount of games, wasn't it? And then went on an incredible run after that.
Of course, yeah.
As it tends to be. And I sort of always say with Oxford, they're likely to end a run. It could be brilliant for Oxford. It could be heartbreaking. Right. I'm sure every fan thinks that about every club.
So it's a big game today, obviously, because I think Gillingham have just about given up their hopes of getting in the playoffs. They are 3 points behind us, played the same number of games.
Mm-hmm.
But the results from this morning's game, early this afternoon's games, generally speaking, went in our favour. I mean, I know Lincoln and Blackpool won, but Portsmouth lost. Charlton only drew. So if we can capitalise on that, then I think all systems go. Yeah,
and weirdly, I don't know how you would approach this as a manager or as a player or anything like that. But as a fan, looking at a game and going, if we lose, I really hope we don't lose. Yeah. If we lose, we're still only 3 points from the playoffs. So you've got that. We're running out of games.
Yeah, and the other teams do have games in hand, but I've asked this of other people before, never really got a proper answer. But at this stage of the season, where it's been such a condensed season, where people are playing so many games, do games in hand necessarily work to your benefit?
Yeah, when you've got essentially, we've got 3 weeks left. If
Yeah.
you've got 7 games left,
Teams are playing Saturday, Tuesday to the end of the season. They're
Mm.
going to get injuries, they're going to get fatigue. We saw with Portsmouth losing today, I mean, results are going to be odd.
yes.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that the games in hand are going to be to their benefit. I'm not saying it. Well, I still have to say that much as I would love to see us get in the playoffs, I think it'll be a stretch too far for us this season. But record, especially the second half of the season, it bodes well for future seasons.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think, as you say, the second half, if we can take that into next season, that's going to be huge. Right, okay.
Playoffs, that'd be huge.
I've been saying throughout the season we're going to go on a run before the end of it, and we will get in. But you can say lots of things. And what happens. You have a program here with the goal scorer himself, Cameron Brannigan, one of the 10.
One of the 10, yeah. It's difficult to choose, actually.
But wonderful celebration as well.
Yeah. I mean, he scored 10 goals in 2 games. It's with 10 different goal scorers. It's very difficult. I don't think it's ever happened.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I don't think it has ever happened before. Because generally speaking, clubs have an out-and-out striker who gets the majority of the goals. And so to spread it around like we have, it's
well, even when you look at just before Matty Taylor scored on Tuesday, he had that chance. He also could have scored when James Henry scored.
That's
so,
right.
you know, 3 goals could have been from him.
Yeah.
So it is unusual. And I wonder how many times it's happened, not just for Oxford United, but across the EFL.
Oh, that's right, yes. So, I don't know anyone offhand who would be able to do those stats, but I'm sure there must be someone.
Let's say it's the first time ever. no one's going to argue.
Yeah, well, exactly. Why not?
Right, okay, so what is in the programme anyway?
All the usual brilliant stuff. So obviously the story so far, we've 6 goals against Crewe, 4 goals against Shrewsbury. Can't be bad. There's a story about our trip to Crewe in the on the road section, which was very interesting. Interview with young Rob after he scored on Tuesday.
I can't believe that's his first goal.
No, chances he's had to score. It's incredible. But obviously we've got the full section about the opposition, should you care. Including obviously met before and played for both.
Which I don't know an Oxford fan who doesn't love Alex McDonald.
No, he's a wonderful man.
Yeah.
Wonderful man. In fact, Robbie Cundy and Jordan Graham are also wonderful people.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I don't know what it is about Alex McDonald. He's got a cheekiness about him.
He has got a cheekiness about
him. So how can people get a programme?
They can get a programme by emailing me at program@oufc.co.uk and I will reply to them with details of how to make payment. It costs £3 plus £2 postage. Or if you want, you can pick it up from the club shop where we now have back issues as well from this season's programmes and save yourself on the postage fee.
Okay. Right. Do you look at future games when you're prepping a programme?
Oh, always, yeah.
Do you look at 2 more games this season, or do you potentially start looking now, what can we put in the third?
I don't think there's any point yet in looking at the third. Maybe if we win our next 3 games and we can, if we beat Burton, then there's a chance. But then I might consider that. But I don't like to tempt fate. I mean, I don't actually believe in superstition.
I was going to say, you seem like, yeah.
I'm not a really superstitious person. I just don't want to tempt fate. But so for now,
and save yourself some time.
Oh, exactly. So for now, I'm actually working. I'm almost finished the Plymouth programme for next Saturday.
Okay.
I've started working on the Burton programme for the end of the season. But for
So
now, that's it.
Next Saturday, we're back here, and then it is just the Burton game.
It's just the Burton game to go.
Gone
Sunday, May the 9th, it is now?
Yes. Earlier kickoff as well.
Yeah, 12 noon. Yeah.
Yes. Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I know you've got to go and do the Twitter account. I've got to do the Instagram stories. Liam Potter will be off doing the moments you missed, and Chris Williams will be doing the match report. Thanks very much for everyone who's watched. Make sure you get your iFollow pass, and goodbye.
Bye.
Follow in your heart, in spirit, in soul. You make every tackle, score every goal. You're part of it, wherever you are in the world. From the first minute until the last kick. Victories, heartbreaks. You're part of the fabric, the passion, devotion, supercharging emotion. For you, there is only one. Abiding loyalty, togetherness that is second to none. Follow every kick, every tackle, every goal. With access to live stream games and matchday commentary. coverage spanning the globe. Behind the scene content, newsletters and match highlights. There's no better way for you to get closer to your club. And with iFollow sales supporting them, there's no better way to show your love. When you can't be there with iFollow.